How can I get Android 10 and how can I get MIUI 11 is a question that I get a lot, and I don't really know why I haven't made this video sooner. Today I'm going to explain how I've been using Android Q and MIUI 11 for over 2 months. If you have trouble with English, or if you just want to have like more written instructions on how to do this, I am gonna go ahead and have kind of a guide to do this on my website. On my website, I'm going to be referencing other YouTube videos that I have done with step-by-step instructions. And if you guys want to just search through my videos, I'll leave a linked playlist down below. But let's just jump into this. Now, Xiaomi has been gradually releasing the MIUI 11 updates for most of their devices. Not all of the devices have been updated to Android 10, but the wonderful thing about MIUI is that MIUI takes features that are baked into Android, it ports those features into MIUI features, and then rolls that version of MIUI to older devices. In regards to getting features, in regards to getting a lot of the actual user experience that you would out of Android Q, MIUI does a pretty good job at this. Not all devices are going to have Android Q. Not all devices are going to have MIUI 11. But this tutorial is going to explain how you can get MIUI 11 and Android Q on most newer Xiaomi devices, either now or within the next month or so as these ROMs get rolled out. First thing and most important thing that you need to do is have an unlocked bootloader. There's really no way to load any other ROM on your device with a locked bootloader. So I have a link to a video up here where I go through how to unlock the bootloader. For most people in most areas of the world, this is a 2-week process where you have to apply for it and then you get permission to do it. Xiaomi officially supports unlocking the bootloader, and I don't really mind the 2-week wait. Second is you're going to need to go ahead and load a custom recovery onto the device. Now, most devices have a TWRP recovery for them, and I'll have links of where you can access that either on XDA developers or just download it directly on my website. Also, I have a tutorial on how to load TWRP, and I'll have that video linked up here. Once you have TWRP on your device, you can load any ROM you want. And if you have questions about this, the best way to get a hold of me is to @me on Twitter. I generally don't respond to direct messages on Instagram, and I definitely don't respond to direct messages on Facebook. So Twitter is truly the best way to get a hold of me. Now, once you have TWRP loaded on, you are going to want to go ahead and get the Xiaomi Eu Rom. Now, the Xiaomi Eu Rom is based on the stock ROM for your device. And there's 2 versions of it. The first version is the stable version of Xiaomi EU, and that is based on the official stable China ROM. So it's a modified version of the official ROM that the Chinese devices get. If you want to get features sooner, if you want to be on the newest version of MIUI or the newest version of Android sooner, then you want to use the Xiaomi EU weekly builds. Now, these are the builds that I've been running pretty much exclusively on all my Xiaomi devices for over a year. It's been on my Mi Pad 4, my Mi 9, my Poco F1, and now on my Redmi K20 Pro. And while it does not run flawlessly, it does run better than any other custom ROM that I have tried, especially Android open source ROMs like Lineage OS or Pixel Experience. Specifically, the reason that you would want to use the Xiaomi EU ROM is that although it is based on a beta ROM, it is polished, it is refined, Chinese bloat is taken out of it, and it is updated weekly. If you don't want to update your phone weekly, that's totally fine. And what I would do is I would join the community for the Xiaomi EU development and read user reviews. Most of the time, I can update to the newest version of Weekly Xiaomi EU, and I have zero compatibility issues. I have zero significant bugs, right? The last little bug I had, which was fixed in today's update, was when I would go back to my home screen, my bottom row of apps wouldn't come up unless I scrolled up, and then all of a sudden they'd magically appear. That really didn't get in the way of me using the device from a functional aspect of it. The device had great battery life, ran smoothly, awesome Google integration. And in today's Xiaomi EU update, a long press of the power button gives me the ability to have the Google Assistant, which I love. And it's a feature that hadn't worked for a while and now works. For people wondering, that feature does not work on China stable at all. So if you're coming from a device with the China build, this is a definite upgrade. If your device with whatever current Xiaomi Eu Rom does not have the newest version of Android or does not have the newest version of MIUI, that means that that is not being actively developed. The reason why I suggest people to use Xiaomi EU specifically is that it is based on the weekly builds. If you don't see the newest version of Android or the newest version of MIUI out for your device, it just means that it's currently not in development. My Mi Pad 4 unfortunately has come to the end of life, seemingly for MIUI updates. So I don't have the newest version of Android, nor do I have the newest version of MIUI. There's nothing that I can do about at this point if I want to stay on a stock-based ROM without going to a custom ROM or a ROM that's not been worked on by Xiaomi. One last thing to note is running Xiaomi EU is not going to necessarily compromise Widevine L1. It was recently developed for the at least K20 Pro, that if you have an Indian version of the K20 Pro and you're running Xiaomi EU, you can keep your Widevine certification. You're going to want to check with your device specifically, but more likely than not, you're going to retain that. I'm going to have other videos linked right here for you guys that you guys can continue to watch. And if you guys want to read more about this, check out my website. Till next time, it's been Mitchell. Peace.